Hey, what's going on, y'all? November the 8th. That's what we got today. How many games we got? Let me see. Let me check here. We got. Oh man, my thing's not loading right now. Okay, there we go. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep, 13 games. So I'll go over who we got. We're gonna do some, do a couple of picks, but some interest. Well, some not too interesting. A lot of these games look like you would think they should be easy games for like certain teams. Maybe Miami Heat and Denver. That'd be interesting to see how that turns out. Portland, I'll probably check that out. Portland and Minnesota coming out. They both played last night, so let's see how they do on a back to back. Yeah. Anyway, let me go over yesterday real quick. Yesterday, what did I have yesterday? I had okay, so I had a matchup with J Star. He had a pick. His pick was the Milwaukee Bucks in Milwaukee. I think it was, what was it? They had to win by 9 points, and they crushed it. So let me see what that score was. That was Milwaukee won 123 to 100. Pretty much they dominated, like, from this. I guess you could say from the second quarter they started to take charge. And Utah, they're still a young team. Not really, I actually had high hopes for Utah, but now I see that Utah is gonna be what Utah looks like they're gonna be, right? And no better. And the funny thing is, J Star, he took Milwaukee to win by 9 points. I was gonna be a smartass and try and take Utah to cover the spread, right? Just to be a smartass. And I was like, you know what? I didn't see. I seen that Markkinen wasn't playing, and I decided that I would go with another team. If Markkinen was playing, I probably would have thought to go with Utah to cover, and that would have been a stupid decision. It would have been, because Milwaukee's clearly the better team. So yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So J Star got his game. He got Milwaukee by 9 points. Obviously, again, Milwaukee won 123 to 100. We'll probably talk about that on Sunday, go over that some more. But I took Minnesota and Chicago. Chicago needed a plus was it plus 9.5, so they needed to not lose by any more than 9 points, and they got crushed 135 to 119, and they pretty much lost in the fourth quarter. Anthony Edwards pretty much took the game in his hand. I think he sunk like three or four 3 pointers in a row, and they were on a roll from then. They started putting their bench players in. Rob Dillingham got some playing time and all that. So Chicago looked good in the first couple of quarters. They were actually up for by like about 10 points for a good majority of the game, and they just weren't able to hold it. And Minnesota got into their stride, and they never looked back, and they did crush the Chicago Bulls. It was, I guess you could say, it wasn't a smart decision, but if you watched most of, like, the first 3 quarters, you would have been like, I made a good move. But once you see in the fourth quarter, it's like you'd be like, that was a dumb decision to take Chicago to cover plus 9.5. But I did, and like I said, I lost that one big. So J Star's up one. Well, he's 1-0, and I'm 0-1 to start off, right, in terms of our picks, right? So I'll go into what our picks are for tonight. He sent his in a little bit late, but we'll see if we could fix the thumbnail. But we'll let you know about that a little bit later. So the player watch that I had, I was taking a look at Jeremy Grant for the Portland Trailblazers, just to see like what he does for his team and what he has to offer and whatnot. First off the bat, he took on the role of guarding Victor Wembanyama pretty much the whole game, and he did a good job. Wembanyama only scored 12 points, but Wemby did find other ways to be effective in the game. He did get 4 steals, 3 blocks for Wemby, but we're not really discussing Wemby now. But what I'm trying to say is that Jeremy Grant did a pretty good job against Wembanyama, keeping him down to 12 points. I think that's the lowest points Wembanyama scored this year. So that's a good job by Jeremy Grant. And I seen Jeremy Grant really use his strength, because obviously Victor Wembanyama wins him on length. So he used his strength to keep him out of the paint, keep him from grabbing too many rebounds or getting in there to score easy baskets, kept the body on him at all times. And that's a good example of what you may have to do to try and contain Wembanyama. I don't think that's going to work all the time. Wemby will find different ways to be effective and to score, especially at some point. He's very young now, and I'm not worried about that for Wemby. But definitely we have to give Jeremy Grant credit where credit's due, being able to keep Wemby down to 12 points. And Jeremy Grant himself was able to score 21 points, got 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Didn't get any steals or blocks, but like I said, if you watched the game, you would have seen that he did a good job containing Wembanyama. So yeah, Jeremy Grant looks good. I mean, he did get a lot of help from other people on well, I guess not a lot of help, but he does have some other guys who can score. Anthony Simmons, and also Shaden Sharp, who surprisingly is coming off the bench. We'll probably take a look at Shaden Sharp soon, the fellow Canadian. But yeah, shout out to Jeremy Grant. They did lose the game. Spurs won 118-105 in San Antonio. But again, Jeremy Grant did a good job keeping Wemby from scoring too many points. Didn't keep him from being effective in other ways. Wemby's going to find other ways to be effective, whether it's defense and getting other people involved. But yeah, Jeremy Grant looked good out there. It would be nice. Like, I think a team could use him right now. I think there's a lot of teams that could use a guy who could play defense and score the ball at the same time. Jeremy Grant, I think he's wasting his career away in Portland right now. And I wouldn't be surprised if if someone picks him up at some point this year, because he could help a lot of teams out with that defense and his ability to still score the ball while playing good defense. So yeah, shout out to Jeremy Grant. That's all we got from last night. Before I get into what I got for tonight, like our player match and whatever, I want to talk about Cooper Flagg. I haven't spoke about him yet. A lot of people talk. I like to take my time with things, and I like to give my own take based off of what how I feel. Right. I watched this first college game. That to me is a good example of what you're gonna get, especially in his first game. Let me pull that up. Cooper Flagg's first game while I'm talking. So yeah, Cooper, from what I seen on the floor, I'm pulling up his numbers now, but from what I seen, people wondering, like, people have all these assessments, analytics, and there's a lot of good things that you could learn from these things, like these analytics and all these true shooting and defensive schemes. All that stuff is really good, but sometimes you have to be able to look at a guy and see what he could do, and you know what I mean, see his abilities, his like his body. This guy is 6'9", right? He's a good playmaker. He's a good ball handler, able to get to the rim. Just vertical. He has a really good vertical. He could dunk on people. He's like he's a decent shooter, not the best shooter. Could rebound the ball. I mean, all these things that he could do. I mean, why would you not think? I don't see how he could not be. Uh, Maybe saying he's a generational talent is going too far. But people said Zion Williamson is a generational talent. And what was that based off of? Was that based off of him being a big guy who could get so high up off of the floor? Obviously, yeah, we know Zion could score the ball, but in my opinion, Cooper Flagg could do more more things than Zion could do. I think he's a better. I think okay. Maybe I'm not gonna say he is, because guess what? He's only 17 years old. But I think when push comes to shove, by the time he plays his first year in the NBA, I think he'll be a better defender than Zion, a better rebounder than Zion. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know if I want to say scorer yet, but probably, because I'll give him time for that. Okay, but I think he'll be a better rebounder, better defender, better playmaker, right? And quite possibly a better shooter than Zion. I think he'll be I think he'll be that in his first year, especially if you want to match his first year against Zion Williamson. And the only thing there's only a few things that could stop him that stopped other players, which, I don't want to say, I don't want to put that on him. But from what I could see right now, why wouldn't he be good? The playmaking's on point, the ball handling's on point, and he's only 17 years old. So all that stuff could only get better, in my opinion. Right? So whether Cooper Flagg's him or not, I'm gonna say, yeah, he's him right now. Yeah, I'll say that right now. I'll say Cooper Flagg at this point. That's the thing I think is unfair to players. We always talk about, okay, what he's gonna be, right? But what about what he is right now, right? And right now, Cooper Flagg is good right now, right? And I think that's what should matter, right? But let me see if I could find his first. Yeah, so he's good right now. So that's what I'm gonna give him credit for. Okay, I'm not gonna be like, is he gonna be good later? He looks like he should be good later, based on the things what he could do right now. He should get better later. He should get better. If he's better, if he gets any better than he is now, then to me he's gonna be probably a generational talent. Okay, something like that. Okay. Uh, yeah. Okay. So, um, yeah, trying to find his first. So I got, yeah. So what was it? 18 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals. I think it says, was that 2 turnovers? Went 6 for 15 from the field. Pretty decent first game, And we're gonna keep an eye on him and see how he does moving forward, man. You know. But I like what I see so far. So, and I think he's him right now. Right now, he's him. In college, he's gonna be him. Okay, whether he's gonna be him in the NBA, we'll get to that. But he looks like he will be at some point if everything goes the way it's supposed to go. All right, so moving on to tonight. Again, November the 8th. Picks. First of all, I'm going with, who do I got? Let me take a look. Let me take a look here. Tonight I got, who do I got again? Okay, I got Sacramento by 7 points at home. Okay, against the Los Angeles Clippers. I don't know. That's just a hunch. I'm gonna be honest, right? If you were to touch this team, I wouldn't say it's a sure bet. Maybe I should make more sure. There is no sure bet, right? It's a hunch. I love, and this is not for betting. This is for the love of basketball. If you love the game, it's not about money. Sometimes I'm gonna watch the game regardless. So, and I'm gonna look at the odds and see who I like, regardless whether I'm betting on the game or not. But this is who I like tonight, and I want to watch this game and see how Sacramento does, especially DeMar DeRozan. A lot of talk here in Toronto. Let me say this off the rip. we love DeMar DeRozan, and if I have to make a choice, I got a lot of love for Drake. But if Drake's gonna force me to pick sides, I'm going with DeRozan, man. And I do think that DeRozan's jersey should be retired at some point after his career is over. So yeah, so we'll see how Sacramento does against the Clippers. I need them to win by 7 points tonight. And J Star, he sent his pick in pretty late, but I believe he has. Let me see if I could. I believe he has the Knicks. I wanted to check again because he had the Bucks last night, right? And they did pretty good for him. So I find it pretty interesting that he's going with the Knicks by 7 points at home in New York. I'm not saying it's a bad choice, right? But hey, you went with the Bucks. Why not stay with the Bucks? You know, they had a good game last night. I think that might be very risky for him. We'll see how it goes though. We'll see how it goes. Okay. So again, I'm going with Clippers. Sorry, no, I'm going with the Kings by 7 points to win by 7 points in Sacramento versus the Clippers. J Star is going with the New York Knicks by 7 points in New York versus the Milwaukee Bucks. So we'll see how we do. Okay, so he got his game last night. He's 1-0. I'm 0-1 because I lost my game last night. So we'll see how we do tonight. And the versus matchup that I'm watching is going to be Luka Doncic versus Devin Booker. All right. Probably not going to match up squarely against each other. They might take each other on at some certain points in the game. But let's see how they do. Let's see who is more effective for their team, who may be the factor in their team getting a win tonight. We're gonna watch all these things. We'll compare their numbers tomorrow, and yeah. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Y'all have a good evening, a good stacked NBA night, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.